Daddy Gang, welcome back to another episode of Call Her Daddy. Lauren and I are sitting. We kind of feel like we look like the parents from Willy Wonka. We are sitting on the couch, but we really wanted to like be comfortable and not have our feet fall asleep on the couch. And so we're in a little bit of a relaxed situation, but we're happy.
I could like doze off right here. Like I could take like a nap in this position.
I'm really cozy.
Same.
Okay, wait. Oh, so just for context, Lauren and I are on kind of like a girls' weekend in Los Angeles. Matt is taking his brother to go golf because my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law,
Yeah, your brother-in-law and sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law?
Yeah.
But does that make it sound like they're brother and sister?
No, they're both. He's your brother-in-law. She's your sister-in-law.
Okay. It is?
Yeah.
Yeah. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law are having a baby. And so Matt is taking his brother to go golf and on a little golf trip before they like have a kid, whatever. And so Lauren's in town and we were like, oh my God, why don't we stay, relax, go have like a nice pool, spa weekend.
Girls' weekend.
And we're going to drink a little bit. We're going to chill and it's going to be a good time.
We're going to order these green margaritas that when it's the two of us, we like to order them for delivery and get a little weird together.
Well, they're just like those kind of sneaky margaritas that like you get really fucked up from them. And the last time, or the first time,
we didn't know how strong they were.
When I moved to Los Angeles with Lauren, we were staying at Matt's house and he was away on a business trip. And Lauren and I, he was like, you guys should order from this place. And we got these margaritas and they're so fucking good. They're these like cucumber green margaritas. So Lauren and I started downing them. And we're in the hot tub with floats, which was weird in itself. And we're in the hot tub and we're with our floaties and slowly
we're like blasting music.
Oh, and we found out how to do the strobe lights in the pool.
Yes.
And we were DJing. And then
we like passed out in the living room and like didn't turn the music off, didn't turn the pool strobe lights off. Matt's neighbor called him and gave him a noise complaint.
And so Matt looks at his security cameras and it looks like we actually threw a rager at his house.
And he's like, calling you, like you guys aren't like really like official yet. He's like calling you and he's like I just have to say like this is so disrespectful. Like I let you guys like use my house and my pool, like
throw a party. And we were like, well, you see, actually, there was no party. Well, it was a party, but
just two people.
It was just Lauren and I. And he's like, I'm having a hard time believing that, Alex. Like, look at my backyard. It looks like there was like a fucking brothel back there. And I was like,
and like the neighbor called and gave me a noise complaint. Like I've never had that happen since I've lived here.
And I was like, it's just the two of us. And so Lauren and I now always have a joke with Matt where we're like, we're hitting the green margs again. And he's like, Jesus fucking Christ, the two of you together. But to be fair, I feel like whenever it's just the two of us together and we're not like interacting with other people, we have a pretty like straight and narrow path that we always go on.
What's our straight and narrow path?
We love either alcohol or marijuana to like have a little fun together. Not in that way, but that sounds weird. But you know what I mean? Like we like our little like thing, but then we're like usually passing out pretty early, and like we're
not night people.
No,
we thrive in the daytime, and we love like a 10 p.m. bedtime.
And I feel like the older I'm getting, I'm like, I can have these like fun rager moments, which I feel like I've been having lately, but it has to be spread out. And a lot of times, like I'm going to go to bed at least by midnight.
I'm not the type of person just to like stay up for the hell of it.
No.
Like if there's something worthwhile staying up for, like Miami, we had late nights.
And it was so fun.
Yeah.
Like after we would be at the party or we would go to the strip club. We need to talk about the strip club. I just thought about that as I'm staring at your face. We would go out, but then we would always come back to me and Matt's room and we would all sit there and like have a nightcap and talk and schmooze and do the thing. That was enjoyable to me. But if it's me and Matt or it's just me and you and there's like, no part.
I don't need to ruin my tomorrow.
No.
Like we're going to hit the hay 11
We can still drink a bottle of wine and go to bed and wake up the next day.
Yep.
Speaking of this Miami strip club.
Yes.
Can we tell the Daddy Gang?
Yes.
Yes. So we throw our Unwell Miami weekend and it was truly so fun. And Lauren comes and we end up after a night at the Unwell Club. We do a late night and we go to 11 in Miami, which is a club / strip club. So we get to the club and we get a table. We're all standing there. And I remember I'm like talking to Matt and he's whispering my ear. And then all of a sudden I look and Lauren is standing with this tall man and at our table. And I know who this man is because he's a reality star and he's been to a couple of our events before. But I know my best friend barely has social media and doesn't watch reality TV, and she has no idea who this person is.
No idea.
You just think he's like a hot guy.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, I ask Lauren, like, wait, what? No, we get in the van to leave because we end up leaving because we were like, it was too crowded and like none of the strippers could even come to our table, which was like, I was ready for like a lap dance.
To throw some bands.
Yes, I brought fucking a bunch of cash. I was like ready to fucking pay the strippers. And then they never ended up being able to get to our table. So we were like, this isn't even as much as fun. We leave. We get into the van and tell the daddy gang what happened with your night.
So I had, before we ended up at 11, I had maybe shared 5 words with this guy.
Okay.
Like quite literally 5 words. And when we're standing at the table, it's like really crowded. So like we're just like touching because it's so crowded. And at this point, we've maybe hit a higher word count of like, we've shared a few sentences.
Okay.
Like not much has been happening.
Yeah.
And maybe sentence number 5 is he looks at me and holds out all of his money and goes, do you want to go to the back room right now and get a private lap dance, the 2 of us? And like, it's like 2:30 in the morning and like, I'm like kind of drunk, but I'm not like hammered. And so
you don't even have, I think at that point, because we had left the club and hung out for a minute before we went to 11.
And then it was kind of a mission to get into 11.
Yeah.
Like, so like I kind of like sobered up a little bit in the process of like getting into 11.
Yeah. So like none of us had a buzz.
No.
We were sober at 11.
Yes.
Which was fine.
Fine.
But to get a sober lap dance with a man that you've barely
and
never
like
met.
I've been around the block
yes
a few times. No, well I've been to this is like my 3rd time at like 11. So
okay.
like I know what goes down in the private rooms in the back.
Yes.
It would not just be us getting a lap dance. It would be us having a threesome with a stripper. And I was like, you know, at this current intoxication level, I don't really have it in me to go from just like not having a vibe to having a threesome with a stripper.
But you were just like, I'm literally like fresh sober, basically.
I'm like sober and like there's not like
a sexual tension yet.
Yeah. Like we've had like we're cracking the small talk.
Yeah, we're trying to like gauge
like what's your name? What's your occupation? Who are you?
Exactly. I remember in real time when this was happening, I turn and I clearly hit you right in that middle of that conversation because all I remember hearing you say is, let me have one more drink and think about it. That was literally your response. And I'm looking at you and I'm looking up at him being like, what did he just ask her for Lauren to be like, let me have one more drink and think about it? Because you're a down ass bitch. So I was like, what is Lauren postponing in order to like liquor herself up? And then I find out that he basically asked you to go into the private room. And then we left and he stayed. But for now, Lauren's still on the hunt.
I'm just out there living my life.
But I feel like you're in a really good headspace of like, you are really, really in a good way single now. Because like, how long has it been since your breakup?
Like 5 months now.
Okay.
Wow. Something I was saying that I was really proud of myself. I was telling you this morning. Yeah. I went no contact after my breakup, which is like anyone I meet who's going through a breakup and they're like, what's your best piece of advice? Truly, like, go no contact. Like, you have to, like, I have no better advice than go no contact. And like, you have to stick by it. I have not talked to my ex once in any capacity since October, since we broke up.
And it was like, I remember I had said to you, I was nervous for you because you guys obviously lived together. So once the breakup happened, you had to like figure out like all the logistics.
There was like a lot of logistics to sort out.
But then once that happened and the last day that you guys saw each other of like, you got to take things from the apartment and all that stuff.
Like a final, like very nice, like
goodbye.
Goodbye.
I was so proud of you because I was so scared of that like you guys also shared each other's locations and stuff, and I was like, is she gonna, and then I remember I talked to you like a week after and you were like, unshared location, haven't talked, it's over. And the fact that it's gone no contact for 5 months, I feel like it's really allowed you to focus on yourself and not feel like you're lightly getting pulled back into it, even if you had any questions that you've been kind of like going through in reflecting on the relationship. I feel like you've been just taking full accountability of like, I don't need to ask him. I'm going to do the work in therapy about like, why did I put up with this? Or why did I do this? Or why did I act this way? Like whatever it is, you're finding the answers within yourself. And I think a lot of times, Daddy Gang, we can use questions we have and think, well, it's just closure. I just want to have one more conversation because I want to kind of like figure out why we both did this. And it's like, that's just prolonging you being able to move on.
I agree.
Right? So talk to me now though about like 5 months out of a breakup. What have you realized about yourself? Because I don't think the Daddy Gang knows how close,
how like serious it was, my relationship.
Because I think in a beautiful way, I found my boundary of like privacy that I feel like I needed to instill in with this show and with the internet. And I'm so happy I did that. And I feel like you with Call Her Daddy in a completely understandable way. Like he was a private person and you and I aren't that private of people. Like we don't really care. So, but the people we are with and you were with wanted privacy. And so like you were respecting that. So you didn't really talk about your relationship a lot. So I think a lot of people online I even saw still to this day are like, wait, Lauren broke up with the boyfriend and like, so she's single and like what's happening? Like, do you mind explaining how close you were to like this being the person you were about to spend the rest of your life with?
Yeah, it was really serious. We dated for almost 3 years. For the last 6 months of our relationship, we were living together. And it got to the point where he had a full plan to propose. He talked to my mom and her fiance, like, and had like a dinner with them and told them he was going to propose.
He talked to me and Matt. He talked to Kristen. Kristen's our other best friend from childhood. Like at me and Matt's wedding, he went to Kristen and was like, oh my gosh, I obviously like I don't want to bring it up to Alex and Matt right now because they're literally getting married, but I want to propose to Lauren during the like holiday New Year time. And can you just like make sure you put us all on chat? Cause I want to make sure that they can be there. Cause he wanted us to like surprise you like how you guys did for me.
Him and I came to your engagement.
So it was like very concrete.
Oh, like there was a date. You knew a date when he was going to, like you knew the date he was going to propose.
And you guys had talked about the ring, right?
We were gonna like do something with like a family like diamond, and you knew like where it was gonna be. Like yes. it was planned.
Yes, that was happening, and I think as your friend, I remember when I heard that, I was so
torn.
Yeah, that's a good word, because I was like, "Fuck, that could one day make sense," but from the stuff that I had heard from you, I wasn't sure you guys were like ready for that, but I'm not in your relationship, obviously. So I was like, I need to just like catch up with Lauren. And obviously I didn't want to tell you, he's gonna propose to you.
Can I say?
Yes.
So like you ended up
yeah, I had to.
We had one of those dinners where you were just like, I can tell that like you're holding a lot in right now. Like, can you like just let it all out?
Zero judgment.
You can tell me everything, and if you want to stay, you can still stay. Yes. But like, I can feel you're not telling me everything, and you're just holding a lot in. Like, let it out. So we had one of those 3-hour dinners where I was just like, word vomiting everything. And then after I told you that, you were like, I am really feeling conflicted right now because like, if it does work out, like I obviously don't want to like ruin your engagement, but like I don't know if you know how close it is to actually happening, and I want you to be able to have the tools to feel in control of your life and not have it this sneak up on you, and you feel like you're kind of backed into a corner and saying yes because you're like, ah shit, like how like what we're here, oh okay, let's go through it. So like you ended up telling me he's gonna propose on this day to kind of be like, you kind of do have a window of like,
yeah,
you got to figure some things out.
Because I was like, Lauren, that was like one of the harder things I think I was going back and forth with. And I think, again, in the best way, I feel like our relationship is so beautiful because I feel like we both talk about, we have so many friends that you communicate with friends differently, but you and I have always had this thing where it's like, we're so honest with each other. And I think we both have found our way to be, even when it's hard, what we're going to talk about, we are so like graceful in the way that we approach things with each other and respectful.
Very, very, very much have, I feel like, a policy of like, it is your life and I don't know your life.
Yes.
And like, it's your life.
Yes.
And
but
like,
it's also, as your best friend.
Yeah.
I have to share this about the things I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And then once that's out, I'm here to game plan everything that you need.
Like, I'll support you.
Yes. Whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that was like a thing that I would give Daddy Gang is like, I forgot that. I remember multiple times in that conversation because I had literally talked about it with my therapist and she had said like, you have to continue to reassure Lauren.
I'm
like,
so happy you told me.
Okay, that makes me feel good. No, but and you were great in the moment, and I think I stand by it too. But again, Daddy Gang, if you are in this position where you're seeing your friend not in the best relationship, and you're like, how do I do it? You have to come from the place of like, you have to remind them that you're not judging them, that you will be there no matter what, and you're there to listen. But you also have like some information that you want to give them, but you're not putting it on them to like now deal with alone. And I feel like when I told you it was going to happen over New Year's, you were like, whoa, okay. And
for context, like this past New Year's.
Yes, this past New Year's, Lauren was going to get engaged. And I think you were so, like, whoa, this is another big red flag of like, how does he think that can even happen when all of these problems are happening? And I think that was kind of when it all started to unravel a little bit more for you because you really were just seeing like,
It was kind of like a date that was like being put on like, oh, I have to like figure this out. Like it put like this like rush and urgency to like figure my shit out. Like, like before I was like,
I'll
keep working on it, keep figuring it out. I was like, oh shit, like I have to like figure this out now.
And so once you guys ended the relationship, what do you feel like you, in now being single, like what do you feel like you've now realized like you really want and need in a partner moving forward? In now being single, like what do you feel like you've now realized like you really want and need in a partner moving forward?
I want to feel like they got me and that like I can have like a bad day or go through something difficult and like they'll pick me up and like kind of like help me get through it and like carry me through it. But like when I was talking to my therapist about it, she was like, oh, like, do you feel like that's something lacking in your life right now? Like, do you feel like unsupported and unable to like get yourself through hard moments? And I was like, literally the opposite. Like, I feel like I have very deep, fulfilling friendships I can lean on if I need to. I end my days and I feel strong and confident and like secure in what I need to work through and get through and like that I can handle it and I'm not like overwhelmed and like I'm not lonely, which I think I'm really happy that something that I want isn't like a need I'm trying to fill. Like it's not like a deficit in my life that like I'm trying to like find a person to fulfill. It's just like I just like want like partnership.
You said that to me the other day when we were in the car and I thought it was so profound and I want to keep talking about this a little bit for the daddying because you were like, every time my therapist was challenging me like, oh, are you wanting that because of X? Like, I feel like you've gotten so good being alone. And I feel like you've always been a relationship girl. So I'm so proud of you right now. Like, I've never really seen you just like single Lauren, like for this long in a strong way where you're like, oh, I'm a little like, ooh, I wonder what she's going to do. You're like, you've never been, I feel like, happier and you don't have a partner.
I was joking. I was like, I've never been happier and I've never been hotter.
No, literally. No, it's so true. You've never been happier. You've never been hotter. You just turned 30. You're thriving. And I feel like something that it's obvious is like for the daddy gang, like we have both been at points in our life where we're both single and we aren't that good at being alone.
Yeah.
And so we're like chasing after something. Like tell me if you're okay with me saying this, but I think something that you had talked to me about that was like, I think very relatable was like, this was the first relationship that you were like, I actually felt like I was like, this person like genuinely loved me and like I was genuinely in love. So it's hard to walk away from that.
That was like, I had a relationship before, but it was like a college relationship that became post-college, and like that was the first time I was deeply in love. Like I was in love with this person.
Yes. And I remember it was so sad because I remember you saying to me, Lauren, you were like, I feel like I've just like lost so many people in my life that like I love. So like, I don't want to, my innate feeling is to hold on to this person because how am I going to just like,
I was so like, this is it. Like I had never been in love before and I had never felt that. And I was like, oh, like this is it. Like this is the feeling that like you fight for and like you go to like the end of like the earth for. And like, I know that's not the case.
Well, now you know, once you really have that like first like adult relationship of love. I'm not talking about like we've all been in love hopefully before, but when you were talking about like love of like, oh, I could see a future with this person, then you really start to realize, which I think I'm so happy. I feel like we were able to have a lot of conversations with like me, you and Matt, because I've learned so much being in my first year of marriage that I felt like you started to kind of like ask Matt and I questions throughout this.
Matt has a lot of good experiences and advice.
He does. Mm-hmm. And I feel like his advice a lot was like, there's so much more to a marriage than love.
Yeah.
Like if anything, that's like the easiest part of it.
Yes. I was talking about that in therapy too, of like, I think I like thought that like love was so hard to like come by and it was so rare. But like what is more rare is having that love and then like the compatibility aspect of like, just like what you want and need out of life is also going to match up. Because like, that's the hard part. Morals,
values, compatibility, what you want as a family, what like literally
career-wise, like how
career, money, socioeconomic, where you're gonna live, how you interact with your in-laws, what you want to, how you want to raise your kids, like where you want them to go to school. All of that is like shit that I think people don't talk about it maybe enough, where it's like, you have to have these fucking conversations, I genuinely believe, before you get married and before you get engaged. And I think a lot of times it's like people are feeling in love and then they're excited and they're moving in. And then you think once you get married, then like you like start to do all this. It's like, no, daddy gang, you need to figure it out before, because I think, again, you watched it with yourself. Is like you were in love, that was down. But then I think you have a lot of friends around you who are going through like whether they just got married or their first year of marriage or their second year of marriage. And so you're watching all of us kind of like do this dance.
My like all of my like I have like say like my like 5 closest girlfriends, like now they are all married and engaged.
Yep. And do you, to anyone that is the single friend in a dynamic like that, like can you talk about how you don't feel pressured by people just by seeing your friends at one stage of their life? Like how are you maintaining just like confidence to not feel like, oh well, I'm the only one so I have to hurry up and do it? Like how are you feeling like you're managing that? Because you could, I don't know if I'm saying that right, like I feel like you're doing such a good job of just being like, and I'm so happy for all of you and I'm happy for myself and I'm good on my like what I'm doing.
The easy answer, and then like I'll give like the deeper answer. Like I do, like I have a few like newer friendships that like I've been investing more time into because they are single. Yeah. And I do think it's important to like, it's just helpful to like have people who are like, oh, like everyone's going on a date night tonight, like let's do this, or like everyone's kind of tired, but like I don't want to sit at home alone like all weekend. Like let's at least like go out and like get a drink and like be social for like a minute. So like I think it is like really helpful to like
have single
friends when you're single. And then something else we were talking about recently, kind of related to like, how am I not feeling pressure and comparison and like left behind when all of my friends are very much in like a different life stage than me? Like being single, like is the minority of like of my close friends right now. Because like I truly feel like very zen at this current moment and not pressured and not rushed. But when I first got out of my relationship, like this is kind of like this zenness is kind of like really within like the past like month and a half ish.
That's nice to hear, because I'm sure girls are like going out of a breakup being like, bitch, I'm on my 4th month and I'm still struggling.
Yeah, it's like a very new, like this level of like calmness is like kind of new. When I first got out of the relationship, I knew for a fact, like I absolutely need to be single. I need to like reflect on stuff. I need to not rush into anything. Like I need to have me time. Like I knew that, but I didn't feel that.
Right.
I was like, I would be like, I need to be single. But like in the back of my mind, I'd be like, oh, fuck, like the clock's kind of ticking. Like, am I dragging my feet? I was doing like the numbers game where I was like, oh, so I'm 30 now. If I like take a year to be single, I'll start dating someone maybe at 31. I don't want to rush into an engagement. So like maybe I'll get engaged at 33, married at 34. Am I going to immediately have a kid then a year into marriage at 35? And then like I was like, oh my God, like I'm having a kid at 35.
Right.
And like so I started playing that game, and like that was like kind of like suffocating and like consuming. I was so close to like locking in like this timeline that like I was seeing. Like we were just saying, I was like about to get engaged, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to get engaged at 30. I'm gonna like, and I had that kind of like
it was all laid out in
yeah,
your head.
and it was kind of like clicking into like step, and it was like, although there were things that weren't right and that I wasn't sure about and that were causing me stress, kind of seeing my life kind of start to like unfold and like where it was going in front of me was comforting, and like the sense of security and safety. So like it took a moment to like shed that.
Right, because I feel like that's something we should talk about too, of like, I've done it before, a previous relationship prior to Matt, like daddy gang, we've all been there, or you're currently in it, where you see the path, you see the future, and it is so comforting knowing you can see like what your timeline is.
I was at the point where I was like, oh, I can look 5 years ahead and I can see where my life is going.
And sometimes having the guy, it makes you feel like, even though I have these reservations, I'm okay with looking past it, because I can't give all this up. I can't give this timeline up. Like I'm right here. I'm like, right. I'm so
like,
close.
I was like, oh, I'm on like the last lap. Like I'm so close to the finish line. Like you don't throw in the towel like right before you're about to cross the finish line.
And I remember I said to Lauren when she was like, I feel like I was like right about to hit the finish line. I was like, babe, you are literally putting on your fucking outfit and your gear. You're not even in the race yet. Like, I know that sounds cheesy, but it's so true. It's like, if you feel like you're just about to get there, you're about to get the engagement, it's like, no. You haven't even started the fucking marathon yet. You are literally just putting on the clothes to see if they fucking fit. Does the uniform look good? Does it fit? How does it feel? Okay. Then when you start marriage, that's when the fucking race begins. And I feel like, or again, even if it's not marriage for certain people, whether it's you want to have a kid or whether you decide to be life partners. But for you, I feel like that's such a relatable feeling to women listening, of you don't want to disrupt what you feel like you've spent so much time building, and you're willing to potentially look past these problems because holistically it's really starting to shape out. And the problem is what I've always said on this show, you guys, that my mom had always told me from a young age, was like, anything that bothers you in your relationship will get 10 times worse when you're married. Anything that bothers you in your relationship will get 10 times worse when you're married. And that is disorienting and hard to hear, because I think you and I had a lot of conversations of like, your ex is a good guy. Like, absolutely. It's just compatibility wise, we started to talk about things where it was like,
it wasn't the right person for me.
And we would be like, no, Lauren, like you're saying this and this is how it's making you feel. But like,
which I think was like another hard layer. Like nothing was like glaring, like,
yeah,
there was no moment of like, oh shit, like that was so bad, you have to end it.
It was just like these micro things that you kept, you know what it was a lot of too, which is people listening, you may have this where you're just like, am I okay with this?
Yeah.
Am I okay with compromising? And when is it not compromising and it's like actually kind of giving up
something that's important to me or something I did think I want in life, but like, is that superficial to want that?
I think when you really got to the point of knowing is when you were laying it out and speaking to your friends a bunch, and it was like you were literally starting to compromise on every single thing in your life and everything. And it wasn't even compromise. It was just like,
this isn't the life I saw for myself.
Yeah. You would say it, but it was like a story you were telling yourself. And then when you, and this is where Daddy Gang, like finding friends to make sure that who won't judge you, but can talk with it. Because I've been in the scenario too, where I would go to Lauren when I was going through a breakup being like, I'm so devastated, but you kept me on track to be like, but that's not what you want. I feel like when you went through this, we did the same thing where it was like, this is hard that you're giving all of this up, but how about you reframe it and think, can you imagine if you went through with it just because it felt like you were so close to the finish line, then you marry this guy and you have kids and every problem that you have.
I was going to like look up and be like, how is this my life?
Right, like I didn't want any of this.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the way that we're doing this and this and this and this, but I wanted to just get the ring and get the marriage. And I think that's a really, really understandably relatable thing that women can feel. Like I remember dating a guy that was so like financially stable at a time where I really wasn't. And it became, and I think also like growing up and not being like having my parents have like all this money, even though being around friends that had it, I definitely like wanted that. Like, and so it was attractive to me to have like financial security. And so I was completely avoiding a lot of things that upset me or made me feel not good about myself because of this main thing that I thought it's okay. I can look past these things because I feel safe with him. But it's like, but why do you feel safe with him? You don't feel like he's actually being like faithful to you. It's because of the financial stability. And while that is a huge thing when you think about certain aspects, that doesn't mean fucking shit if you don't have an actual good relationship. Money is fucking great, but it's not fucking great if you're getting cheated on or you're getting fucking emotionally abused or whatever it be. So I think a huge lesson for the Daddy Gang that we can take from what you're talking about is like, you felt in your gut, compatibility wise, you were off in moments, but you kept going forward because you really also didn't want to give up the good parts.
Yeah, that there was love there, that it was all kind of falling into place and like making sense. And like I remember saying like in one of my like therapies I was having before like ending the relationship, I was like, I feel like I'm about to blow up my life. And she was like, you are, but like that's one portion of your life. Like you still have all of your friendships, you still have your career, you're still going to be you.
That's what's I think so crazy. I remember that because we talked about that after that session you had. It was like, yeah, I guess you could say you're blowing up your life. Not really. You're just ending something that was going to bring you in one direction, but it's a portion and everything else is going to stay the same. I remember saying that to you. Remember, I was like, you're going to go to work on Monday, then you're going to go to drinks with your friends that night. Like everything is kind of the same, but then a huge chunk will be missing. And so it's really, really terrifying as women because we don't have the flexibility like men do to just keep it fucking moving. Oh, that one didn't work out. I can go over here. Like they have a different level of privilege. And while that is true, I really truly believe that like staying in something just to appease one other aspect of your life that you're looking for is really going to come and bite you in the ass. So I also think being easier on yourselves if things aren't working, Daddy Gang, recognizing that sometimes neither of you are bad people. It's just, it quite literally is like your traumas and your strong suits and your issues and your things that you bring to the table that are good and bad, sometimes they just don't fucking work with someone. And instead of trying so hard to force it, while yes, a relationship is work, at some point you have to look at yourself. And I genuinely believe for you, Lauren, like, I'm so happy that you lived with him. I'm so happy that you went all the way to the point of seeing yourself in a dress with a ring, all of it. Because now we talk about this a lot of like, I can't wait to see the person that you meet next, because you are a better person because of that past relationship.
Oh, and like
thank
there's
God
things,
you met him.
And like there's things that, my therapist used to say, every person you date gets you one step closer to the person you're supposed to marry. And like there's things that I would have no idea that I did not like and that I definitely need.
Yeah.
And that like trigger me. And I feel like I just like know myself a lot more now.
And so technically though, think about this, Daddy Gang, if we're doing the fucking math, although maybe you would be engaged right now and planning a wedding, we have talked about like now knowing how much there was breaking down, there's a chance either one, you would have been in a really pretty unfulfilling, unhappy marriage, which could have ended in divorce. Now you're still so much closer though to just pure happiness of finding your person. Mm-hmm. And I think that should hold a lot of hope in a lot of people's minds if you're about to end something, or this episode is helping you think about reevaluating, do you want to take that next step? Well, yes, the next step seems super straightforward and easy. If you're not 100% in knowing that's the right next step, you're then gonna have to take a lot of back steps once you go forward, because it's gonna be like, well, fuck, this isn't working. Don't force something that's not there. Everyone's timelines, while yes, it can be straightforward, a lot of times with timelines, they're just gonna like fuck you into making like more rushed decisions, where it's like, if you didn't have this in your head and if we didn't have a time clock, like, would you make that decision?
I think that has been like the timeline and the time clock and the biological clock and children has been, and like really sitting and thinking like about that aspect has been one of the things, the most freeing aspects for me of like, I truly feel like I've never felt more zen or peaceful in my entire life, and calm and like not rushed and like awake and confident and like sure. And I think it's because I've been having really honest conversations with myself about what was really fueling that like urgency and that rush and that countdown. And it's children and motherhood. And if you would have asked me 6 months ago, a year ago, my whole life, I would have been like, no doubt I'm having children. Like, no question I'm having children. And I don't feel that way anymore. And it's a little surprising, but not sad. If anything, almost freeing. Because I think I was really just operating from that place of it's just what you do. Like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna have children.
Right, like duh, like I have to. Like,
but like when I like really think about it, I'm like loving this time period of like feeling like I am the main focus in my life, like truly just me, and like what do I want and what makes me happy, and like everything is revolving like around me, and like I get to be selfish, and like my entire life, like I from like 7th grade was like put in positions that were like pretty crazy of like taking care of my family emotionally, financially, until like not too long ago. And like I'm like, it's my time.
Yes.
And it's like my turn.
Yes.
And like if a child fits into that at some point, like that's great and beautiful, and like I know I'd be a great mother. I might have a kid at 40.
Yes.
I might not have a kid.
And
it's like, it was like pretty like wild to say that out loud, because like I just wouldn't have
thought it. And yet here you are. And I feel like, again, had you gone down that path with that ex-boyfriend, you wouldn't have probably even had a chance to recognize that because of just this timeline.
That's what you and Matt were talking about. When you're in something that you're unsure, or maybe it was me and you and Matt, you chase the next milestone, because like puts like a
it gives you something to look forward to
and focus on,
to distract from the problems in the relationships. Like, but we're gonna get engaged, and then everything's gonna get better,
and they're gonna get married,
and let's focus on the wedding. And then all the wedding, everything's good.
Let's start planning for the kid.
And then once you got the kid, we're like, oh, we're gonna, and then it's all these distractions and these milestones, and everything's good for a little bit, and then once you hit that, there's a come down, and then you're like, well, what the fuck is next? And you've seen those relationships with people. I think it's so beautiful when you said this to me the other day, and I was like emotional for you, because I feel like we have so many things that we're just taught from a young age as women, and no one really tells us, but by the way, you can do it completely different. You don't have to do that. We don't have to do what our moms did. And I feel like this is such a beautiful place in your life that you're in. Like, you're really, really in control right now and in tune with what you want. And thank God you listened to yourself when you were in something that would have been easy to move forward with, but difficult in the long run. It's like the short-term reward. Really, you have to think about the long term. And now the fact that you're able to realize all these things about yourself, I'm just so happy for you. And I really hope people listening can find their version of what you and I are both going through right now. Because I think we're both at a period where we're really having to look at ourselves. And as women, we don't feel comfortable.
Kind of like silencing like the noise. Being like, in this moment, like, what do I want?
And if you don't know, that's your first step, that you need to spend some more alone time with yourself. If you're in a relationship, that still means you should be spending alone time and checking in with yourself. But you guys, Lauren and I this summer
are aligned.
I'm doing a huge fucking victory lap and enjoying my fucking time being a newlywed, and Lauren is fucking single and she's going to have a good summer. And so
I'm just celebrating myself.
Yes. And so the two of us, I feel like it's this beautiful, gonna be a great fucking summer of us just like going.
We have a lot of fun plans.
You guys, we have so many fun plans that I don't want to fully tell you about, because it will be fun to roll, like, for you guys,
roll out our social
calendar for you guys. But also, more importantly, I think Lauren and I will need to come back on this couch soon, because there's a couple of things that maybe you'll find out soon. That
couple announcements coming.
Yeah, that you and I haven't really ever talked about, that I think will definitely
catch people by surprise.
Yeah, I think the daddy gang is going to be like shocked, but also like,
it all makes sense now.
Yeah. So that's all good things are coming this summer. But thank you for sharing all of this, and because I do really think like so much of what you are going through right now and always is like so relatable, and I feel like a lot of people really appreciate whenever you come and sit down. So thank you, Lauren. This was a fucking wholesome ass episode.
Yeah.
Daddy gang, we love you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you fuckers next Wednesday. Goodbye.
What is up, Daddy Gang? It is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy.
Charlize Theron, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to be meeting you.
The same here.
Cheers to It's Happy Hour.
Somewhere in the world,
it's happy hour. We're cheersing. We've got a little vodka, and we're gonna have a great conversation today. You're in your cozies.
Yeah, I apologize if I was supposed to get dressed up.
No. I'm usually in my cozies, and I have a
great.
meeting after this. I would usually be wearing exactly what you're wearing. So this is perfect.
You look great.
You look like me today, and I maybe look like you in another life. Okay, in doing research for this interview, I realized we have a couple things in common, and maybe we'll find out more today. But one of them being, we're notoriously known for saying the word fuck.
Yes.
That's
why I love your show. Why I love your show for many ways. I just love you're very authentic, and I love your use of the word, because, you know, if somebody uses it that much, it has to feel like it's coming from a real place, and yours feels very grounded.
I haven't heard you say it yet, but I know it's going to come out today. But I'm like, I've heard that you say it all the time.
Yeah.
I remember reading it said Hollywood Reporter profile said that you said fuck 154 times in 3 hours in an interview.
They'd have to fact check that. I don't think that's true. There's no way.
I was like, she's an icon.
Humanly possible.
Have you ever said it in a really like inappropriate setting where people were like, Charlize, what the fuck are you doing?
Listen, I have definitely, I'm trying to think of how to say this without getting the right context around it. I swear in front of my kids because I feel like, I am a responsible mom, but I am who I am. I'm not ashamed of who I am. I also want to teach my kids that there are things for them to look forward to. They don't necessarily get to say that right now, but that's really fun because they're going to grow up and get to say what they want. And also just because sometimes it's hard to articulate exactly what fuck cannot replace. Like, I just feel, and maybe that's because my vocabulary is just not very strong and English is a second language, but it's hard to sometimes really get that thing across, and you can special size it. You can custom it for your, whatever that fuck is that you need,
It's fucking amazing.
I do this really fun thing with my kids in the morning when we drive to school. They DJ, so I can't DJ at all. So they all take my phone and they'll just like alternate with each other and like play songs. And then they got a little older. They were like, it used to be like the clean versions. And then it was like, Mom, can we like play the dirty versions? And I was like, okay, just for this car ride. So in the mornings, this is now where I think they get a half hour of just they play it. Every inappropriate song so incredibly loud that I like lose my hearing, and we're driving for a half hour and they're screaming every single inappropriate word that they possibly can. And then I load and I can tell like all that energy's out. They're going to have a great day at school. And then I put a podcast on and I probably listen to you. It's like by 10 a.m. I've had a full life. It's a full day.
You're listening to like WAP at like 7 a.m. You're like
100%.
fun.
100%.
That's amazing. That's fun.
Great. It's great.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by White Claw. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're way too hot to be spending the summer sitting inside scrolling on your phone. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop letting plans die out in the group chat. Grab a White Claw and go make some memories, okay? Whether you're yapping poolside, hitting a barbecue, or just kicking back around a fire, a cold White Claw goes perfectly with your summer plans. That's right, Daddy Gang. It is White Claw summer. 100 calories in 12 glorious ounces, gluten-free, and the taste you know and love. I like to pick up a variety pack so that I can guarantee everyone can get their favorite flavors. I am personally through and through always a black cherry girl, but Matt loves the mango and Lauren's favorite is lime. So there's truly something for everyone. It's time to come out of hibernation and stop leaving everyone on red. We're finding a guy with a boat and we're having a damn drink. My friends and I strictly drank White Claw for an entire girls trip last year. And now I can't even smell sunscreen without being reminded of that trip. It was honestly the best time ever. There is nothing better than warm sun, a tiny bikini, tiny bikini, and an ice cold claw in your hand. That is peak life. Pick up a pack from your favorite local spot and grab life by the claw with your favorite flavor this summer. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer works. Chicago, Illinois. Okay, let's go back to beginning days of your life. You grew up in a farm in South Africa.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was normal. It's what I knew. It's all of my friends kind of grew up on these small farms. They weren't like these like out of Africa kind of farms. They were called small holdings. We ate off the land and lived off the land. My mom she's growing stuff on our farm out in Ojai now. She's like just a natural farmer, knows everything about fruits and vegetables. So we lived a farm life, but not as isolated as people would imagine a farm life to be.
And growing up, you went to a boarding school, right?
High school, yeah.
If I was to ask your classmates, like, what were you like in high school? What do you think they would say?
Oh, that'd be interesting. I think there was a side of me, there was a lot of alcoholism in my family on both sides and a lot of shame. that I think kids in general have about a parent that might be an alcoholic. Because my dad was like very, he'd show up in states that, was just very inconsistent. And so I think my friends or people who knew me in school would say that there was a part of me that was very, like closed off and not necessarily sharing the truth about who I was in my life. Like kind of, I think I created somewhat of an alter ego that came from like a happy house, and like my family were good, happy people. And I think the other side would probably be that I never really like fit in anywhere. It wasn't that I was unpopular. It was just that I almost like weirdly wanted. There were two girls that I very vividly remember in both my lower school and my high school. One was called Charlene in lower school, and the other one was called Marlise in my high school. They were both girls that I absolutely just admired. Like I just thought the world of them. And if you ask me today why, I actually couldn't answer that.
Do you think it was like their aura or their
Yes,
confidence?
I think it was their confidence and that they were authentically, truthfully being who not only they are, but also living the truth of their circumstance at home. I think that was the thing that I really admired about them. Not that I don't think they dealt with the same issues that I did. I don't think that a parent that was dealing with alcoholism, but I still have this with women who, like when they date, they're just like very open and honest. Like they don't try and hide anything. They'll say whatever they want. They're not walking on eggshells. And I think that's the part that kids in my school probably remember the most. But I think now looking back at it, I understand why I was that way better.
But don't you think when you look back to like why you admired those girls so much, what you're saying also is like being that young and like masking in situations is exhausting. Yeah. Like you wish you could just be out in the open, but family is family where it is a reflection on you, even 100%. Though you're doing nothing wrong, that your family is dealing with 100%. This. But you still feel this almost like pride that you have to try to uphold something because it's like currency in high school. Like, what is this person like and what is their family from? And so you try to create this narrative, but that's exhausting. And then you walk in the door at home and you're like, well, this is fucking miserable. It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's very exhausting. And it's crazy how we carry all of that weight. Like somehow it's us, like somehow their actions are reflective of us. And it's a crazy thing that I continued in other relationships in my life. And I think I admire women who are just like, that's that, like, that's not me. But that was exhausting for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it affected my life in a way that I think it took me a long time to be able to figure out. So when you ask me like, how do my friends or people who went to school with think of me? I think they think of me in a way that was not really authentic me. It was a put forth version of me.
In dealing with that in high school, then I know like we don't need to get into all the details today, but you experienced such trauma at such a young age. How do you think experiencing that ended up impacting you in your later life, not just in the like, oh, she's not as authentic, but then once the trauma really hit, like how did that impact you in the next couple decades of your life?
I think it was just, the first part of it was full denial because my mom didn't really have the tools to deal with that tragedy, but it was also just years and years of this consistent kind of like walking into a house or waking up in the morning and not knowing what I was walking into. It's like what a lot of people say about living with an alcoholic, right? You're kind of living at their whim, like whatever they're feeling that day or wherever they are, that's what is going to be the vibe and the energy of the house. And that inconsistency, I think, was what affected me way more than just that one night. And I think what happened was that there was such a focus placed on that one night when that tragedy happened. And And it was very, very unfortunate. And I wish I could say it was only a one-time occasion. This is something that happens in homes across the world more often than we want to admit. But, you know, I think it took me like well into my late 30s to really be able to look at that and actually like shake off the weight that I felt like I carried for my father, for my mother. You know, I felt like even when I got famous, like I couldn't quite honestly speak about it because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I felt like people were involved that didn't ask to be in the spotlight. But then I also got older and I was like, but this is also my truth. Like, this is where I come from. And I don't want to have shame about it anymore. You know, my dad was an alcoholic. He wasn't healthy. And my mom stepped up and protected me. And if that happened to me with my children today, I can tell you right now, I would do the same thing. It doesn't make it less unfortunate, but you know, again, I can't protect people all the way through. Like I have to also live my authentic self. So now it was a one night event in my life. I am still dealing with the everyday consistency of a lot of damage that I think I experienced as a young person, just in my every single day life.
I think that is so relatable in the sense that like if there is something catastrophic that happens that shakes a family or a relationship, that event feels very like palpable and people think of that event, but when you're living it, you're like, oh, it's kind of actually like not even where my head goes to when I actually think of all the trauma, because that was an instant. The rest of my life, my entire childhood was this thing of living with this alcoholic and learning how to placate or hide or defend and shield, and then go to school and pretend like this isn't ruining my entire life, and smiling and pretending I'm this like cute girl that is fine. Everything's fine. I know that you've talked about it, but you said later on in your life, you then got into therapy because you realized like, oh, this is really still affecting me. Was there something that made you realize like, holy fucking shit, I've got to get control of this?
So strangely, I went into therapy because of a relationship, a long-term relationship that I was in, and it was falling apart. And I think I touched lightly on, I was in relationships, in a sense, doing the same thing that I did at home, which is common, right? Walking on eggshells, trying to protect ego, protect embarrassment for a partner, you know, because of their behavior, and feeling like somehow that reflects bad on me. Like all of these things I was kind of repeating in my relationships. And I had a narcissistic boyfriend that said, you know, you're the problem. And not that I believed it, but I felt like I had invested a lot of time into this relationship. And I was like, well, maybe, you know, let me put my ego aside. Maybe I am. Maybe I should go. And there was always this kind of thing thrown in my face, like, because everybody knew about my life, like, oh, you must be this damaged woman, right? So I went actually to try and save this relationship. And what ended up happening was that I ended up saving myself. Yeah. So maybe in a weird way, I do owe this guy like, some gratitude.
Even though you were the narcissist?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, two things came out of it. The therapist was like, you should leave him. Yeah. And also, by the way, you're not the problem. Like other people have been the problem in your life, and you need to start admitting that.
I have gotten into therapy and it's changed my life too. And so I'm always such an advocate for it, but I know that everyone has to go at their own pace. So it's interesting to hear you be like, I actually went in for something that for sure was at the forefront of your life, and it was like an annoyance and painful, and you were like, I need to fix this. But really it's like, oh my God, girl, we have so many bigger problems than this like douchebag that kicked to the curb, and now let's focus on you. Yeah. Interesting. So once you got into therapy though, and you realized you needed to start working through a lot of this, did you struggle a lot with coming to terms with bringing back up trauma? Because I think a lot of people are like terrified to engage with it, because for a long time, if you just leave it in the corner, you think like, I don't need to bring all that back up. I don't want to relive those days and memories. Was it hard for you?
Yeah, because I became an expert. I practiced avoidance, right, my entire life. And also I was the product of an environment where therapy didn't exist. In South Africa, I didn't know one person who was in therapy. I don't even think we had therapists. Now, I might be totally wrong, and some South African person feel like, first of all, okay, in my community, I never heard the word therapist. We also didn't have AA. Nobody was an alcoholic. You never used the word alcoholic. Like, this was just, I think I grew up in a culture where men were men and a real man drinks. And it was a very toxic culture. But therapy was just never something. And, you know, again, like I said, my mom didn't have the right tools. My mom, and my mom does not understand the concept around therapy. And I don't, listen, she shouldn't. She didn't have it in her life. She doesn't know what that is. And so when it happened, her kind of words of wisdom, like she sent me to school the next day. Like that tells you everything. My mom's like a survivor. My mom is like, you wake up the next day and you get up and you continue and nobody brings you down and and that's what she did to me. And I was 15 years old. So coming to therapy was not because I was avoiding it. It was just so foreign to me. And even I'm of a generation where I didn't even know a lot of friends that were in therapy. I think I knew like one friend that was in there. And it was this friend that I reached out to and said, could I meet with your therapist? Like, I didn't even know how to get a therapist. So it was all very foreign to me. So yeah, putting aside the behavior that I had learned for years, it was also just like, it wasn't in my, you know, it wasn't, I wasn't surrounded by it in a way where it felt very natural or normal or I had easy access to it.
As you've evolved and continued to peel layers back of like how your childhood impacted you as an adult, I think I've even dealt with this with friends where it's like, as you become more therapized, you look at your relationship obviously with your parents differently. And it sounds like you have such a beautiful relationship with your mother, but like, how have you navigated being someone in therapy and dealing with that trauma, whereas you have then someone in your family that's not? Because I feel like there's probably a lot of people listening that are like, wait, so how do you handle those moments where like, no, mom, remember? And she's like, shh, let's go out to the let's go out to the garden, honey. Like, I don't want to talk about that.
In my 30s, it became contentious. It became because I think I was finding my voice. And I also I feel very protective of my mom, because I think that, you know, without context and people really knowing who she is, and that you can ask anybody who knows her, she is, trust me, I cannot tell you, I can't go on a hike, I can't walk through a store without somebody coming up to me like, oh my God, I love your mom. She's one of those people that she has a superpower. And her superpower is incredibly infectious, but it's also very, very damaged. You know, but what therapy taught me was that she is who she is. And I'm not here to change her. And if she doesn't want to change herself, that's okay. And for our relationship, there's enough compromise there that it works, that it doesn't feel like I am compromising too much or she's compromising too much. And we know how to kind of like be copacetic with each other and live in a very loving way with each other without me going like, I cannot, like, you are so unhealthy. You have, like, I'm beyond that now, right? And she thinks the same thing about me. Like, she's like, okay, whatever, like you with your therapy. And that's what I love about her. She's authentic. Beautiful. She's very, very authentic. But yeah, it's interesting, not to, like, I don't want to put you on the spot, but that's what I loved about hearing about your story.
Yeah.
It's just so rare to talk to somebody in this kind of environment. I've never had that where your story really moved me. And I was actually excited to sit down with you.
Thank you.
Because sometimes I feel like, you know, you feel so kind of alone in sharing a story like that. Yours is obviously different, but to have trauma at that young age and what you experienced was really painful to listen to and to hear your family talk about.
It is. It's like, such a strange thing when you get to connect with human beings, because you're right, our stories are so different and yet
so similar.
Yeah. And there's so much pain and there's so much hiding who you really are. And I agree, like when you were talking about the women or the girls in high school that you were like, I just was attracted to their aura. I had the same thing with so many women where I was like, I wish I could live free like that. I wish I could walk into a room and just be me and feel like I can just own it. And I'm, even if someone calls me out, I don't care. I can't get embarrassed. You can't embarrass me. And I didn't have that. So I think a lot of my career has been actually searching to find a way to get to that place, because I wanted
Do you think you're there?
I feel so much more at peace. Like even putting out the documentary, I feel another layer of peace, because I think that medium also is different. Like podcasting, I do this every Wednesday. Like it's a thing that my audience is used to, but putting something and a piece of work out in a different format, I think was really a good way to engage.
Therapeutic in a way?
Cathartic. Like, yes, because like I kind of had hands off. And a director was like, I'm going to tell your story. And I was like, please don't ruin my life. But like, I trust you.
But you almost had to not be in control of it, right? Like here, you're a little in control of it. But
it was kind of nice. And so I think that's how I also feel about therapy, where it's like, I'm learning. I'm uncomfortable what I'm learning about myself. I hate sometimes when I'm like, no, there's no way. And my therapist was like, keep going. We're about to get under it. And you're like, no. Really? So I relate a lot to that. I also was thinking about your mom when you were just saying how your relationship dynamic, you are a single mother, and your mom essentially after the passing of your father became this single mother role.
It was a single mother prior to
that. Your whole life she was a single mother. How have you kind of found a way to appreciate each other even more and connect on a deeper level, becoming a mother and her watching you be a single mother also?
That's such a good question. I feel it feels familiar, right? But it also feels, God, if there was a cautionary tale, it was definitely their relationship and how I didn't want that. And I think in many ways, maybe that did, I think it's not just one thing, right? It's very layered and complicated, but one of those layers of why I don't think I am in a relationship was just purely because I still it's a combination of like, I don't want what they had. And then also being very honest with myself and understanding that I did not have the capability of being healthy in a relationship. And those two things I had to acknowledge when I decided to be a parent. And I think it's probably one of the healthiest decisions I ever made. I think people look at it so like in our society as this kind of something must be wrong with her, right? With women, it's always like something must be wrong with her. She can't keep a man. And it's never part of the discussion of like, wow, she's really living her truth. Like she's living in her happiness. Like this is actually a choice that she made. I like want to just like look at them and just be like, do you know how fucking great it is to live exactly how I want to live, to experience motherhood exactly how I wanted to experience it? And I know the next thing they say is like, well, that's not fair on your kids. Can I tell you something? That will be their story to tell. I can't tell you. I can only tell you that this is the best way that I know how to be a mother to them. And maybe they'll grow up and tell their story, and I will respect that. I just know that this was the only way that I knew I could do it. And my fucking God, do I love every single day of it. I love that I don't have to share them with somebody. I love that I don't have to run every fucking thing by a guy. I love that I don't have to, well, oh my God, co-parent. I fucking love that I don't have to do any of that stuff. And my children, we joke. Listen, I think you can tell, like, this is how I raise my kids. Yeah. Like, right? We don't hide this shit. They're like, oh my God, Mom, I can't go to Sarah's house because like her father. And I was like, oh my God, aren't you guys so happy we don't have to deal with that? And like, oh my God, Mom.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So this was how I wanted to be. I don't even know if I'm answering your question. I'm so sorry.
No. This helps because it's like, you broke this cycle, essentially.
I broke the cycle. I am raising, it looks from afar like I'm doing what I know, which is being a single mom, because I was raised by pretty much a single mom. But I think I'm raising my kids as a single mom because of definitely avoidance of things that I know I don't want. And also understanding who I am fully and being honest with who I am and what I can give right now. And who I am is, at the time that I wanted to be a parent, was not somebody who should be having kids with another person.
I think that is the most mature, self-aware thing that anyone could ever fucking do.
With kids, you have to be that honest because it's a child's life. You have to.
And you, again, sitting here being like, I've lived what a single mom looks like who's not actually single, but
we're happy about it.
Right. And it's like the autonomy you've given yourself to find your happiness and give your kids a different life and a different meaning to what a single mom is.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's thank you.
Yes,
thank you for recognizing that. I also love that I don't know what the future is going to hold, right? That's the other thing. It's like, this is like this moment and this time in my life now. And I mean, I'll be honest, I have tried dating and I can tell that no man's moving into our house while my daughters are there. Like, that's not, and by the way, I don't think I can do it. Like, I literally can't imagine a man moving into our house and me sharing my closet, or like, I don't see that happening.
Right.
But then I imagine like being an empty nester and how that part of my life will be. And by then feeling like maybe I will feel like I want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
There's this notion that somebody like me must be missing out on something, and that people feel sorry for you somehow, that you're missing out on love.
And you're like, wait, guys, I'm telling you I'm good. And they're like, no.
It's the thing that you don't quite realize until you have kids. And I'm not saying that it replaces one love with the other, but it is such a tremendous love that I do not miss love. You know, I might miss sex.
Fair. That's fair. You're like, my vibrator is only doing so much.
Yeah, no, look, the vibrator is good. And I'm having the kind of sex I never had in my 20s or in my 30s.
Love.
Yes. And so that part has been really exciting. But I'm not missing a relationship. I'm not missing the partnership that I think people think you miss when you're me.
And it feels like what you're also saying is, it's not that you're not open to it. You're just at a point in your life where you're really content and you're really happy.
That's it.
And I want to also point out, because I can only imagine now, even you just lightly explaining to me the judgment that comes with a woman in your position. And we know women in Hollywood who are single, and people are like, oh, what is actually fucking wrong with her?
Yeah, she must be a real bitch.
What
a cunt.
Truly. Like, you fucking cunt. How crazy are you?
Yeah, how crazy are you?
Truly.
Yeah.
But how gorgeous to also hear you saying, like, everything you're saying makes me more wanting to put it back on other people who are so triggered of like, how many relationships do we know of these women in these households with these men who have lost their voice, who are not happy? It's not everyone, but being alone, you have that control that a lot of people don't have in these certain relationships that they've lost themselves to. So I think it's commendable that you're like, I know myself enough. I'm going to stay right here until I want to change it. And then maybe I'll change it.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's your decision.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I watch you with your husband and I'm like, God, that's so incredible. And why can't we just, as women, experience these two very different experiences and let that be okay?
Be completely okay.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought I was going to be someone that was going to get married.
You work with your husband.
And it works. And I'm like, well,
exactly.
And I get why people have opinions, but I'm like, but I'm happy.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, yeah, exactly. Everybody will always
have
it's like an asshole.
Like,
we all have one. It's like, please. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. At my age, I'm like, I honestly, there's like I can't make enough zero fucks. Like, I'm like,
I love that from you though. Immediately when you sat down, I was like, I fucking love you. Like, this energy is what we need. The girls need this energy.
Good.
Okay, let's go back. 19 years old, your mom buys you a plane ticket to LA and is like, one way, you're going to become an actress, go. And you land. What the fuck was the plan?
Well, I think now you understand a little bit better that she was like, the next morning, she was like, you're going to school.
Right.
Right. So I was in New York. I was living in somebody's basement. I was there. I did not have, I think I overstayed on a tourist visa. So I was kind of in this no man's land of, I wasn't there legally. I couldn't really dance anymore. I wasn't happy with my life. I felt like my only other option was to go back to South Africa, a country that was in tremendous turmoil at the time, the brink of civil war breaking out. And I had nothing really to go back to. I like, you know, when I had to like think about how was I going to survive, I was like, am I really going to like take over my mom's construction company? Like I was willing to take, and also when you're young, you're fucking insane. You're so stupid, so naive. I was like, this sounds like the best idea ever. Yes, let's get a one-way ticket to this place called Hollywood. And I will get on this plane, mother, with this credit card that there's no money in there. I know, but you're trying to make me feel better about. And I know nobody, and I will get in a cab and I will go and find some motel to live in. Those were better options than getting on a plane and going back to South Africa for me at that time.
So you get there, and like, how are you initially making ends meet before you get all
modeling? Yeah.
Modeling.
So modeling was kind of my waitressing job.
Okay.
'Cause turns out nobody's really checking your visa. They every once in a while will get you an O1, but they don't really care. Or back then.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to take this out. Oh,
you got it.
I tore my interquartal muscles or whatever. Coastal, intercostal muscles.
By doing something.
Yeah, I did something stupid. But anyway.
Get cozy.
So I got here. I didn't know anybody, but modeling was always kind of an income for me.
When you started making money, what did you spend your first like big paycheck on? Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Tinder. Daddy Gang. You know that feeling of finding an amazing hole-in-the-wall restaurant when you're traveling to a foreign city? There is truly nothing better than having the best meal of your life surrounded by locals where nobody knows you're a tourist. Well, with Tinder's help, you can have more moments like that and get a true taste of the local life. Tinder's passport mode can be the best travel companion when you're looking for a local tour guide in any city in the world. Try Tinder Passport globally to connect locally during your travels or even before you start packing, all while making traveling to a new place feel easier. With Tinder's help, add more plans to your itinerary by matching with a local and setting a date to see the city through their eyes. Passport mode is also a great way to help immerse yourself deeper into the culture and have more authentic experiences while traveling. With Passport mode, there's so much to discover. Explore all of the possibilities for yourself. Tinder, it starts with a swipe. Download Tinder today. When you started making money, what did you spend your first like big paycheck on?
Well, I didn't make any money for a while. I was really like not even like paycheck to paycheck. I was like I was waiting for 2 paychecks to fill in. The first job as a model that I ever got that I remember going to the bank and cashing this check for $75,000, and I can tell you exactly what I wore that day. I can tell you exactly how I felt. I can tell you how I walked to my Ford Escort. Like it's so vivid in my mind because it was a moment of complete freedom. Like it's so hard to explain, but I think women or having financial freedom is something that is so important. And when you don't have it, and then one day you feel like you have it, it's a feeling that you never forget.
You never forget, and you never want to go back.
No.
You're like, oh.
But I also like stupidly, I was like, well, I'm done. I'm set for life. Like I was like,
I'm balling.
Yeah. Like, oh, well, I don't have to worry about that again, you know? But I didn't spend it on anything.
Nothing.
Just to, yeah, I was so scared of having to like go back to South Africa.
You start getting into Hollywood as a young woman. Like, what were your first impressions of Hollywood?
It was confusing, you know, because I didn't have I didn't know what it was. So I was kind of like, you have to understand, where I was raised, we had television from 6 o'clock until 9 o'clock. Like we had 3 hours of television, and then we had nothing. And my access to Hollywood was so limited. We had a magazine that would write about celebrities. That was really the only information that I ever got about celebrities. I watched movies and thought that it was like a job that your neighbor did. I didn't know they were celebrities. I thought that Tom Hanks was just some guy that had this job and he was an actor. That status thing didn't exist for me. So when I got here, it was crazy. I was like, oh shit, like people are like celebrities here. So it was very strange for me. But again, I was just so excited. Yeah. I was so excited.
I want to ask you about one of your early auditions that you had in the industry where a director asked you to go to his house for an audition late on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Can you just explain what happened when you got there?
Yeah. I didn't know what an audition or what the process really, what that looked like. An agency that I was working at as a model, I said, listen, I'm interested, so naively, didn't know how you went about being an actor. I said, if you hear of any auditions, I'd like to go. And they said, oh, we think there's a casting for this movie, and you have to go on Saturday night. And they gave me the address, and it was this director's house. And the little voice inside me definitely said, this isn't right. But then the other voice in me says, well, I don't know. Maybe it is right. But you know, that that voice that we don't listen to, that voice knew. That voice was like, this isn't right. And it wasn't right.
And as women, like we're constantly in positions where we almost like we want to be like, no, I'm overreacting. Like, there's no way I'm going to get there and it's going to be weird. There's no way.
And even when it is weird, you're talking yourself out of, this isn't weird. Like, no, I'm taking this the wrong way. That's not what he's he's not. And by the way, this guy, he got a little nervous for a while there. I've never said his name because honestly, I don't want the story to be about him. You know, honestly, it's not because I'm protecting him or anything, but he got nervous for a little bit.
Why?
Because he heard me tell the story and he knew it was about him. And he wrote me a pretend letter trying to explain his behavior and how I must have misunderstood it, which is classic, isn't it? It's so classic.
No, Charlize.
Yeah.
He wrote you a letter?
Yeah, because I think he panicked. He started panicking.
Of course.
He was like waiting for me. And I just realized, like, I won't even fucking say your name because you know you're the scumbag. Like, you know it's you. And if anybody ever asked me about him, I would be completely honest. And he knows that. And I kind of like that he's got to be on a hot seat. He doesn't know when it's going to come. I kind of like that a little more.
I'm so sorry because, like, I opened up in my documentary about this person in a position of power that abused their power and sexually harassed me and all the things. And coming forward about it, I had like such anxiety. And it's interesting because it's like, you're in a position of power now. You were so young in your career. From what I understand, this was like a huge director.
Yeah, huge.
And the power imbalance being there in that room on a late Saturday night, what the fuck are you going to do? And most people would be like, well, why don't you just get up and leave and yell and go immediately report it? And it's like, it's so nuanced and complicated. Like, can you just explain, because I have so many women listening, like a little bit about in those moments now when you look back, how to not feel such shame and guilt for something that clearly was not your fault?
Yeah, it's so hard to even, it's like we can only share these experiences and we can talk about them enough so that hopefully it becomes normalized, that we hear it enough where women can just go like, okay, I've heard about this time. Like, and while you're sitting in there, you can hopefully say like, okay, force yourself to do this thing the point that I'm trying to make is that we have to be careful because it's very hard for people to understand why someone with a strong personality, someone who's outspoken, how someone like that can find themselves in a position where they won't say something. And that is the story that it's a classic story, right? It's very, very complicated. And even though I want younger generations of women to not do the same thing, I also understand if they do the same thing, because I drove up Laurel Canyon and I was so mad at myself. I remember like being furious with myself because I couldn't believe how I had let myself down. Like I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you? Like, why the fuck would you allow that? Like, why? I still get those feelings, you know, because it's like you know yourself so well, and there's something that really like kind of like breaks my heart to the core when people so in this very luxurious manner talk about, well, you know what, next time you should fucking say something. Like, don't wait 20 years, okay? This kind of like callous way of not wanting to believe. Like, that's really what it boils down to. It's instead of saying like, I don't believe you, it's like, well, don't be a fucking pussy. Like, maybe you shouldn't have been a pussy about it. And we all know what that feels like. It feels like no matter what they say, it can't hurt more than what you're telling yourself. Like, I beat myself up over that. I was like, you can say whatever that you want, motherfucker. Trust me, you can't hurt me more than I hurt myself about what happened that day.
I mean, even just listening to you say it, it brings up so much, I think, for every woman probably listening, because you're so right. In those moments, I remember I was sitting, every time I talk about it, it makes me emotional, because when I was sitting on the stage at Tribeca, because that's where my documentary premiered, and I did a Q&A after, and I started talking about power imbalance, and when someone does something to you and you're in this moment and you freeze or you fawn or whatever it be. And I'm looking at the audience, and there's like a couple hundred people in this audience, and I'm looking at all these women's faces, and multiple women have just like that look where I almost wanted to pause and be like,
I see you. Yeah.
How many women in this room? How many? And I'm not kidding you, Charlize. I literally think almost every fucking hand would have gone up. And it breaks my heart, because I'm like, holy shit, this is happening as we're sitting here. Some woman is experiencing this feeling. And I agree with you. I think for me, I relate a lot to what you're saying of being someone that's so outspoken. I do think a lot of people are like, there's no way that would happen to you. There's no way. And it's like, oh no, the minute you're in that room, you're not yourself. You are the smallest version of yourself. You don't even remember who you are. And the minute you walk out the door, you kind of start to remember. And that's when the shame hits you, because you're like, wait, how did I not just... I said it to my husband less than a year ago. I had an executive say some of the most insane shit to me. And I'm Alex Cooper. I'm me. I'm supposed... Literally froze.
Yeah.
Froze.
Yeah.
So if it's happening to me now, and it happened to me back then when I didn't have a voice, there is no through line of this can't happen to her. It doesn't matter where the fuck you are on the totem pole of power and success as a woman. When those men get you in that position, or there's a power imbalance, you're fucked.
Or in your case, a woman. I think that story isn't told enough.
Definitely not.
So I'm grateful, and I really respect your choice in wanting to tell that story, because I think, just as I feel like when I meet men who have experienced this kind of power play, I think that we need to tell these stories so that we can understand that we're not alone. Like, that's the thing, right? And it's hard to tell them in a world where people don't want to fucking believe you. It's really, really hard. Doesn't make it easy for us. And when it starts to sound repetitious and it's like, oh, it's the same story again. It's like, yeah, but guess what? We're all made of the same fucking we're human beings. And until you are in this fucking environment, don't tell me how you're going to behave, because I will not let a motherfucker fuck with me any day of the week. Like, step up. But when somebody catches you off guard like that, I don't like want to get emotional about it, but I think it's the fact that it's in an instant, within seconds, somebody is telling you your value and they're telling you you're not really that valuable. Because guess what? I was never going to get a part that night. And I knew that as soon as I left. Like when I was driving up Laurel Canyon, I knew I wasn't there because I had some value that I was going to bring to this man's movie. I was there for one thing. I was only valued for one thing. That was it. So when somebody does that to you, you will fucking freeze. No matter who you are, you will fucking freeze.
And the conversation you also brought up of why did it take you so long, right? Yeah. I had experienced some people being like, 10 years? It took you 10 years?
Yeah. Now that you have this platform, now all of a sudden you want to talk about it.
And it's like, 10 years, yes. Because like you just said, when you're driving up Laurel and you're leaving that moment and how quickly you realize your worth and who you are and then you're mad at yourself, it starts to almost seep into every single decision and interaction you go forward having in that industry, whether or in your relationships, whatever it seeps into. So yes, it took me that long because I had to repair what that person broke in me, and I had to find a way back, and it still fucking hurts, and I still feel uncomfortable, and I still cry about it. There's no closure, but there's a little bit of a semblance of healing. But yeah, it took 10 fucking years, and sometimes people are going to live the rest of their lives and never get to feel any bit of healing. So like, there is no timeline.
There's also the complication of, I feel when I watch your documentary how much you love playing soccer. Someone's taking something away from you that you love so much. So there's that fear on top of it, right? Like I remember I had this constant kind of worry for myself. Like I was like, if I don't make this work, like the alternative is just so fucking dark. Like I don't want to have this other life. And so that was like the added thing on top of it was like, they're fucking with something that you really love. So it makes it even harder. It makes it more complicated. That's their power. Yes. That's their power over you.
That's the why didn't you speak up? But most of these women are sitting there and like, this is my job.
Yeah.
This is what it's so complicated. So I think the takeaway for any woman listening is also just like, we see you. Yeah. There is no answer,
and we're not sitting here saying because of our experiences, you should do this. You're probably not.
And we understand.
And we need to be a community that can support each other. We can stand together.
Truly. Yeah.
And fuck those fuckers.
Fuck those pieces of fucking shit.
Fuck those fuckers.
You fucking motherfucking ass bitch. Fuck you. What have you learned? That's the beginning of your career. What have you then learned about your own strength through this crazy time in the industry that you've had?
I feel fortunate that that I think I don't mean this in like a feel sorry for me way, but I feel like I had a hard childhood. I think it set me up for an industry that's hard. I'm hoping that it can become less hard. I'm trying to be part of solving the problem. But I think it was the thing that helped me. It kind of set me up in a way where I was so the fish out of water. Like, you don't understand. Like, if you look at a map, that's where I was. And this is like, it was so, I'd never been on a plane. Like I'd never left South Africa. It was so insane to be that kind of a fish out of water. But the core of my experience as a child and being a survivor really, really helped me. It just really helped me to kind of, and this is not, I'm not prescribing this to anybody because I don't want this for my own daughters, but I could suck it up.
Coming from a situation where you weren't really privy to the information about Hollywood, you had a really rough childhood, then you get here. Like, did you ever get to a point where you felt like you could lean in and be proud of your success, or what is your relationship to success? Like, have you had like an I made it moment and you're like, this is fucking
when
great.
I got that $75,000, I was like, I'm done. I have had many moments like that because I think I always, I think what happens when you experience death at a young age, I'm not speaking for everybody, but for me, it it made me hyper aware of time. And I also think that growing up in South Africa, at the time that I did, when AIDS just ravaged my country in a way, it brought it to its knees. As a woman, you just couldn't help but feel like you were going to die of AIDS. Like, that's just what it was like. Like, I had this constant fear every time I had sex with somebody. I was like, I have AIDS. Like, I would go and get tested. And so I had this constant feeling of time running out. So when good shit came my way, I really I felt it. But I also felt this thing kind of chasing me, like, time's going to run out, time's going to run out, time's going to run out. Like, you got to get it all in. You got to pack it all in. You got to get it done, which is a horrible way to go through your 20s. So I have had I've had great success, and I've had a ton of great opportunities come my way. I've always said this. I really believe this. It is not just about talent. There are people out there that I know that are way surpass my talent, that will never have the opportunities that I had to showcase them. These are all things that I'm so aware of. So I try to, it's gotten better now that I'm older, for sure. Like, I can definitely sit in a moment. I don't feel like I have to make a movie every 5 seconds. I feel like I have other things that are more, that I kind of gauge my success at. It's not just work related. But I also, listen, after you win an Oscar, there's a part of you that can go, oh shit, like, what do I do now? Like, how do I, what am I stepping up to now? Like, everything's going to be shit after this. And then after you realize, like, yeah, it's probably going to be shit, you just go like, well, the fuck that then I'm just going to fucking make movies that I want to make. Like, I got an Oscar, bitch. Like, I got nothing else to prove. So let me just fucking make shit that I want to make.
So fucking
It's
nice.
great. It's very freeing.
Something I think a lot of people obviously respect you for is the way that you have transformed yourself for so many roles. Like, you've gone bald, you've gained 50 pounds, like you've gone bald sounds like
I was like, that was a shaved head, bitch.
No,
like, we don't have to go that far.
No, but like, you know what you've gone bald. You know what I mean? Well, you were bald. You shaved your head.
There's a buzz and there's bald. Like,
You've gone bald. You're like,
Yeah.
I buzzed my hair.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you've really taken things to the extreme. How, when you were doing those things within your career, did it affect your confidence, or did it not?
No, I found it very freeing. I think that it's much easier for me to kind of lose myself when I'm working, to really kind of be a good actor. Like, if I look in the mirror and I see Charlize, I'm like, oh, like, this is just all feeling like, now I'm just feeling like I'm being like a fake version of myself. I don't know. There's something for me, maybe it's because I come from the world of dance. There is a real appreciation for costume and music, and like this kind of vibe that you have to set to this world that you're creating. And I don't know how to work without that. Like, I am always in awe of actors who can just, Philip Seymour Hoffman, just be Philip Seymour Hoffman and be fucking amazing in every movie. But that's not who I am. Like, I really rely on finding a character from the outside in almost sometimes.
Let's talk about your dating life.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Hard pivot. Let's swerve. Okay.
So when you were bald.
So I literally was about to say, so now that you're not bald anymore. Okay. So obviously we spoke about it earlier. You've been outspoken about never wanting to probably get married.
Yeah.
And once you kind of accepted that, like, how has that impacted your dating life, knowing that you're not looking for marriage, like, with men, and how has it affected them with you?
Well, I think there's okay, let me just be clear. Marriage is a long-term commitment. And I think I want long-term commitment. I just don't need to get married. So I just want to clarify that. I will tell you in all honesty, and the work that I've done on myself, I think a lot of that also has to do with the fact that I have a tremendous fear of not being able to get out of something. And that's, again, me just understanding me, right? And, now obviously by California laws, after 7 years, you're in a fucking marriage, whether you walk down the aisle and sign the piece of paper, like it's 50-50, bitch. Like, let's just be clear. So I'm like, my semantics is like crazy, but I want, if I were to find a relationship, I would think of it as something that I'm aiming for long term. I've never been somebody that really wants to like jump from one thing to another. From the time that I was in relationships, I was in one relationship after another relationship after another relationship. And so when I earlier said I'm having sex now for the first time like I never had before, is because I'm not in relationships. And it's not because I don't want to be in relationships, but I'm seeing things for what they are, right? I'm not trying to force a circle into a square, or whatever the fucking American saying is, the peg and the hole and I can never say it right.
But that was right.
No, but when I meet somebody, I can see where it's going to go pretty quickly.
What is relationship you like versus single you?
So this is what we were talking about earlier. Like, I am ashamed of being a person in a relation, or that I used to be. I should speak now. I've done a lot of work, but I used to be someone in relationships that would lose herself. And again, it's that thing, you're such a fucking power bitch. Like, you're a baller. Like, why? That couldn't be you. But it goes back to how I looked at girls who were I've never really had a lot of practice in just being confident and like saying, I've always felt like I've had to like protect other people so much that codependency has just remained in my relationships. So I used to be a person that would watch herself, would also attract narcissists, men who wanted me to kind of treat them that way. And if I didn't, there was a lot of conflict, and I actually don't like conflict. Yet again, something people are always surprised. I don't like conflict, but when I feel like if I feel like I have to choose between conflict or just placating, then I will placate because I don't want the conflict.
But when you're in those type of relationships that you've lost yourself, how have you pulled yourself out?
Friends. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great friends. Like, and now I'm going to cry. Just great girlfriends. Wow. Yeah, because I think sometimes you can't see when you're in it.
At all.
And you need a friend that doesn't hit you over the head, because you won't leave until you can see it for yourself. And a good girlfriend knows that. And so they support you while you're in the darkness, because that's all you have. Like, you need that support. And I've put some girlfriends through fucking hell. So yeah, I love that the show's for women. Fucking girlfriends. You need good girlfriends.
But I think that the biggest also point that I want to highlight that you just said is like, there's a difference between being a really good girlfriend and then when someone's in a really unhealthy relationship, making them feel shame about it and being like, we can't fucking do this again. We can't.
You're an idiot.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You then pull away. And if anything, you lean more towards the person you're in the relationship with.
The dysfunction.
And we've all been there. If you have one of those great friends, and I've had it with my friend where I was in a horrible situation, and then when you give them a light opening because you're really looking for them to pull you out, and they're like, okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, and then they slowly pull you, and then you're out, but it takes you opening even a crack in the door.
Yeah.
Because if you don't want to hear it, it's like the same thing like we were saying earlier with therapy. You can't fucking force someone to go to therapy. They're going to sit there with their... They're like, I'm not going to listen to you. They have to be ready. And the only way they're going to come to you, though, as a friend, is if you've been there with them. And I know it's hard as a friend, but there's always
so hard. That's
so
the thing
hard.
that makes me emotional, because it's the patience. And it's so hard when someone you love so much is just constantly hitting their head on the same wall. And all you want to do is to remove them from the situation. And you know that you can't, and you have to like walk this fine line. I don't know what I did in a past life. I really do not what I did in a past life, but fuck me. I have been blessed with really, really good people in my life.
That's half the battle.
I'm a lucky bitch.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Neutrogena. Summer is here and the sun is shining. You need powerful sun protection that feels light on your skin. Meet Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Sunscreen. This SPF 70 lotion absorbs fast with a smooth, dry touch finish, so you'll forget you're even wearing it. It blocks 97% of burning UV rays and is water resistant for up to 80 minutes. Lightweight, effective, and perfect for sunny days. It's just what your summer needs. Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Sunscreen. You can't feel. Shop now at Target. When you're having these like fun little new romance moments that you're in your era of not dating, but you're getting to have good sex.
Yeah.
How are we meeting these men? Are they men in the industry? Do you not want a man in the industry?
I don't. No,
you
my
don't.
God, no. I have zero interest. And again, like I say these things, you know, in a very glib way, but I don't think that dating somebody in my industry is a smart thing.
I agree.
Yeah, it's not. It's everything. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that it's that binary. I just think that in general, it's not a good thing for me.
So how are you meeting these people? Are you on the apps? Are you out dating? Are you?
I am on the apps, but I don't use the apps. I am.
Love that. It's so relatable.
I have a few friends that are very, very good, and one of them I know is listening to this right now, who always is like, okay, you need to come here right now and you need to meet this person. And I'm very grateful for her, and you know who you are. And I have not been brave enough on a lot of her offers, but recently I have. And it has paid off tremendously. And so yes, my dear friend Amanda out there, when she says like, you need to just, we'd be in fucking Paris, be like, you just need to fucking like come and say hi to this guy right now.
So fun.
And yeah, and then it totally pays off. And I'm like, yeah, I need to do that more often, honestly, because the apps are just horrible.
Oh, it's hard.
No, it's not hard. It's a clown show. I'm sorry, guys, but please, like, no, like I need, like, honestly, not because I want to date you, but because I want to help you. No Burning Man photos, no photos of you with other women. Like, I don't care. I don't want to know that you have girlfriends, and I don't want you shooting a fucking selfie in your closet of your hand in a jean pocket. I'm sorry. I don't want to see you looking at yourself in a mirror that way. It makes my vagina close. I just can't. And don't tell me you're a CEO, because you're not. Like, I'm sorry. Of what? Of some business you can't explain to me that none of my friends can understand? Like, no. And then, no, you don't live in this apartment no, you do not have a business. Stop. You're a fucking joke. You know, I get wet when you just tell me who you are. Like, don't be pretentious. I'm sorry.
Picturing you on the fucking apps with your girlfriends over like wine one night, being like, let's just open this shit up.
Well, by the way, that's how it started. I was like drunk enough to have a girlfriend be like, let's just fucking do it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And that's how I ended up on this fucking app. Listen, I could take myself off the app, but I am like secretly fucking enjoying the joke.
It's great.
It's the joke. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean.
No, it's okay.
I'm not trying to be mean, but like, I'm trying to like help. This is like, think of this as like help. As I'm a 50-ass-year-old woman telling you, don't do it. Girls don't like it. They don't fucking like it.
It's so true.
Yeah.
The hand in the jean in the closet.
Can't. I just can't. I'm sorry.
The CEO is also crazy.
Oh my
and he like
God.
works for his dad.
Yeah.
He works for his dad. Okay, how do we feel about sex on the first date?
Well, so I like, what do you consider a date?
Oh, are you going on dates?
Yeah, but I feel like when you like, there's certain circumstances where you meet somebody at a party and you have sex and then that's it. You know, that's what it is. You're not thinking you're going to marry this person.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Are you down for a one night stand?
Yes. I don't have many of them. I'm sitting here sounding like I do. So when I do, I'm like, all Oh, fuck yeah. I should have done this in my 20s. I was married from the time that I was like having sex to the time that I had my last relationship. Then I had children. Who has fucking time for dates and shaving and waxing and makeup? And like, I've got 2 children that have to go to school. Then I got it. Like, this shit's on a time. Like, do you need me to send you a call time?
I'm obsessed.
And it's this, you got 2 hours. Like, what's happening? Because like, I need to know.
Do you have any sex tip for the girls?
Sex tip? Like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, how to have good sex? How to what? Have an orgasm?
Anything that like you think of girls could just like, you're hot, you're having good sex.
Okay, you're like, I almost choked. I am the last person to ask. I'm like sounding very cocky here, but I think it's because I have found this freedom in my 40s where I'm like, oh my God. So I just want to say this in perspective. I've probably had 3 one-night stands in my entire life.
Okay.
But I did just recently fuck a 26-year-old and it was really fucking amazing.
Fuck yes.
Yes. And I've never done that. And I was like, oh, this is great. Okay.
Let me just say that 26-year-old is the luckiest fucking man walking on this goddamn planet. He's walking different today, knowing, oh my God.
He for sure is not, but thank you.
No, he is. He is.
I will just say this. Like, I wish that this goes back to, I think this is kind of like a thread throughout our conversation. Women who come across as confident, women who come across as like outspoken, ones that wouldn't speak up for themselves, tend to also be in bed people who want to please males. Like, and I have found this in my experiences with talking to other women about this. Isn't it strange? Like, we should be the ones that are like, fuck you. Like, I'm going to have an orgasm. And yet my whole life was so concerned about
Same.
The same?
Same.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So my advice would be this. Don't fucking do that. For 2 reasons. You're going to have better orgasms. And guess what? Your man's going to like that.
They're going to have such a better time too.
Yes.
It's so true. It's really hard. I think back to my 20s and in college, like I was so thinking I was doing the right thing. And when you get the feedback of how great it was, and then you're walking away feeling great, but then you're also like, I don't know if I've even had an orgasm in my life before. Like, this is kind of, is this what it's supposed to do and be and what? And then the minute, and it takes reps. Like sometimes it just takes you like getting, because no man is like, unless he's the most amazing man in the world, which go find him, but no.
Not going to happen.
It's all of these men, it's about them. And they're not actually being like, I know it takes you longer than my fucking dick just getting off in 2 seconds. So it's like, it's a process to you advocating for yourself in the bedroom, being like,
yes,
hold on, and actually then speaking up. But it takes time. But I agree, once you hit that part of your life where it's not just like, oh, I'll just like do it and then like he'll get off and like I'm like faking it, your life changes.
And practice helps. You just have to practice and then you'll figure it out. Yeah.
That's good advice, see?
Yeah. In the safe way, please.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, please. Please, for the love of God. Okay, what is the biggest dating disaster you've ever had?
Oh my God. I had a guy once ask me to make out with his nose, which was really, really probably one of the most bizarre asks ever. Yes, in a very like he was getting off on it. That was really gross. I would say aside from that, nobody's ever asked me to do something that I was like, whoa, that's really fucking weird. Like, I guess I like weird shit. Like, I'm not like thrown by weird shit. Like the nose thing was the weirdest thing.
That'll do it.
Yeah. But I'm not like thrown easily. So that's why I think I'm kind of like, I'm like, oh, this sounds, well, let's see what happens.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to play a game.
I'm having the best
Okay,
time.
you are?
We are crying and we are laughing and we are
I'm never going to get over the bald comment. Like that. Jail for me. Okay. All right. I'm going to go through some dating scenarios and I want your opinion. Are you in or are you out?
Wow. Okay.
Okay. He tells you he loves you after 1 month.
That's usually what I would do.
Charlize!
That's like a Charlize move. Oh my God. This is like a constant joke between me and my friends. This is how unhealthy I am. Like, I just will tell you I love you in a heartbeat. Like, I've never understood this conversation. Like, have you ever been in love? I'm like, motherfucker, I'm in love all the time. Like I while I'm fucking you, I'll tell you I love you. Like, and for a long time I was like, this is not healthy. And then I just went, this is who I am. Like, honestly, like I'm not going to beat myself up over this anymore. So I'm going to say that's okay. I don't know if I want to hear it from a guy though.
Fair. So fair.
I feel like, again, it's like the photo, the selfie, like, no.
Like, calm down.
Yeah, let me be the one that's like, I think I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And make me chase you just a little bit. Like, God, don't be
Can you believe it? I'm in love with you.
Then you're literally at home being like, oh my God, I can't believe he believes that. Anyways.
But maybe I am.
How quickly do you actually think you know if you're in love with someone?
In all seriousness, I feel like I have the ability to go there pretty easily. For someone who's as like, have been so, I think maybe it is because I've been so protective of my life and have to protect so many things in my life that there is, and it's maybe why acting feels safe to me. I have the ability to kind of like go into that kind of like reckless, vulnerable place.
It's beautiful.
Easily. Yes.
Have you ever had a guy tell you that he loved you and you were not on the same page?
Yes. Yes.
It's tough.
Yes.
And do you just let them down easy, or?
I am going to be honest with you. I'm not good at letting people off the hook easily.
Do you say it back?
No, I don't say it back, but I don't know how to, like, I will pretend and then I'll probably ghost. Like, I know it's really terrible and I have to work on that.
I love it.
But after that, I just don't know, like, it's part of me is like, I don't know. It's a lot of time to get into like the softness of all of this. And sometimes I just think it's easier to just be like, let's just not. Yeah.
Let's not. Because I don't love you.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to tell people I love them. So if I can't say it back, you're really a fucking loser.
There's a big problem here. Like, it's not going to happen.
Holy shit. Okay. You caught him going through your phone.
No, I don't like stuff like that.
Have you ever caught someone?
Listen, when most of my dating and serious relationships happened, there were no iPhone.
She's like, no iPhone gang over here.
Yeah, we didn't have that problem. We didn't have, I mean, like, isn't
Love.
that? Yeah, but I don't like stuff like that. Even with my kids, like my kids find it really hard that I'm like, I don't want to go through your phone. I want to be able to trust you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Have you ever been cheated on?
Yes.
How did you find out?
I found out after, not while I was in the relationship, but I always felt it. Like, again, it's that little voice. Yeah, but it wasn't worse for me because part of me was like, that wasn't the reason why I broke up with the person. And also, I don't think it was constant all the way through. I think it was like towards the end, or it was like somebody thought like a blowjob wasn't cheating, like shit like that, But
classic them not thinking of blowjob cheating. Just the classic white stuff of men. Like, that doesn't count. Oh yeah, no, you getting your dick sucked did not count for sure.
No, not at all.
Totally
yes,
fine.
100%.
Did you ever confront him about it, or no? You just let it go?
No, because most of the time I found out afterwards,
Yep.
and then by then I was like, I couldn't give two fucks.
Okay, he hates cursing and asks you to stop saying fuck.
Impossible. Absolutely. If I can't do that in front of my children, do you really think I'm going to do that for you? Go fuck yourself. And I don't even love you here. Like, this is like before I've even told you I love you. So
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Okay, what is something you'll never compromise on in a relationship?
Now?
Mm-hmm.
I think I've talked about it. I will not lose myself. I will not make myself smaller, and I will not do things that are not authentically. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be selfish, but I will not make myself somebody that I'm not for you to feel better about being in a relationship with me.
I fucking love it.
Oh, thanks.
No, because it's like you being aware that that's your one thing. We all have that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I had that for so long where it was like everyone knows that one thing that you're like, okay, this next time I've got to stand my ground and I can't let myself do X, Y, or Z. And I think that like, for me, mine was like, I really loved the games. Like, I was like addicted to like the push and the pull and the put. And
I'm drama. You wanted the drama. Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And like, I want to feel safe. So why am I doing this? And finally,
why?
We're still working on that. I still don't fully know why.
Do you still do it? Or,
no.
Okay.
I am so happy.
You're aware of it now.
Matt was the first person that literally, it was like a couple like a month or so in, and he was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I have literally no interest in it. So let me know if you want to continue or I'm done. And I was literally like,
wow,
I'm in love with you.
But you obviously didn't stop it straight away.
No,
like,
it was a concerted effort for me to recognize like I had become used to a pattern.
Yeah.
And it became familiar to me. And then you jump right into it, into the next thing. And a lot of it made me feel like if we fight, then when we come back together, we feel closer. And it was a bad cycle I got into. And then Matt was the first person that I broke that cycle for. And it was like I made such different life decisions with him that I was like, wow, I must really love you that I'm trying this hard to like not
That's
be.
amazing.
Yeah. So, you know, we all have our thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you told him right there you loved him. That was
Then I was like, let me take my pants off, fuck me, and I love you all in one night. Let's go. Woo!
No games.
He's like,
here.
this bitch is crazy.
You're like, you want no games?
No, literally, let's go.
Yeah.
But actually, that is
We're getting married.
No, tonight. Let's go to Vegas. He's like, you're insane.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your new movie, The Old Guard 2.
Yeah.
What does it feel like playing this character again? Like, is it exciting to get to do something a second time?
Yes, it's challenging, but also yes, it's exciting because I've been wanting to do television for a while, or like a limited series, because I've never experienced having several hours to kind of build arc and explore a character. And so like my 20s, it's always felt like pack it in 2 hours or under 2. And so this was nice because it gave me an opportunity to kind of like go and revisit a character that I had played before, and I'd never done that before. But it also makes it challenging because then you're like, well, what do I want to go and explore? Like what are the themes that or the behaviors that I didn't feel like I fully fleshed out on the first one. So then it becomes complicated in that sense, but good complicated.
Okay, you're hanging out of a helicopter in the movie.
Yeah.
How do you even train for something like that?
You don't. There's no training for that. I wanted to do something. I don't like risk. I like challenging myself, but I'm actually not like like I have kids. And even prior to that, I'm not like someone who's like, I don't give a fuck. Let's just jump off this roof and see what happens in the water. And I'm not one of those people, but I do like the challenge of being a producer and being able to have some power over talking about that developmental part of what is the narrative and the action, because that's where you can start to challenge yourself a little bit. And if you're making these movies, you should be asking those questions.
Right. What is the most insane stunt that you've ever done in your career?
Well, that would probably be one of them.
Yeah.
But if you hear the story behind it, it's not as crazy. It looks insane. That's why we did it. But it was explained to me by this incredible man, Fred North, who is like the guru of all helicopter stuff and movies. He's like, this is really safe. No one's ever really done this, and you can do this completely practical. And that's really what I was looking for, was to do something that we didn't have to go on a stage and fake, and that I could have some cred and have a behind the scenes video that looked really fucking badass, and I could be like, yeah, and that's me right there. But yeah, so that's probably the craziest things. But I've done hard. I mean, I just had elbow surgery 4 weeks ago. I did this movie in Australia. I just wrapped it like a couple of months ago. I play like a professional rock climber, like a free soloist, kind of like rock climber. And I worked with a mad director from like Iceland who just like was like, you have to climb the mountain. And I was like, holy fuck, like he's gonna actually make me climb this fucking mountain. He's like, for the next 3 weeks we are only shooting this mountain and you are climbing this mountain. And I fucking climbed that mountain barefoot, like no shoes. It was insane. I look at the footage now, like I go back to the dailies and I go, what the fuck? But it's amazing. It's like you're in it and you just kind of go like, wow, it feels good to feel this strong that I can do this.
Picturing you barefoot climbing up and just being like,
yeah, and they were making these silicone feet for me to protect my feet and stuff. And I was like, I'm from Africa. Okay. I didn't have shoes until I was 13. Like I climbed trees. I don't have, and I was a dancer. I have no fucking feeling in my feet. Okay.
put me in.
Yes, I'm going to be fine, you guys.
She's perfect for this role.
Yeah.
Thank God we got her here. Holy shit, this is amazing.
At the end, this madman of a director who's fucking brilliant and I love him. He never gave me one compliment. It was like my dad relationship all over again. I was trying to please this motherfucker every single day. I'd like be on the top of the mountain. I'd be like, my elbow, I couldn't feel. My fucking toe was broken. My ribs were, and he'd be like walking away. And I'd be like, what did he think? He's like, oh, he went home. And at the end of the film, he like pulled me and he was like, you were fucking amazing. And I was like, all right. I deserve that.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got the approval.
Yeah.
Thank God. Did your daughters go to the premiere last night?
They did. My youngest likes to kind of like just ride along with me. The movie isn't right for her. She's too young. There's too much violence in it. But she walked with me because she knew I was going to go home afterwards. So she just walked. She just waited for me, and I said a little thank you in the theater, and then we went home. And I was like, she was like, why don't we watch? I said, no, I'm so tired. Like, we're going to go home. We're going to have a girls' night and we're going to have ice cream. And we got like the ice cream out of the freezer and I had like a half a pound of ice cream. And then I fell asleep like an old man, literally. Like, she was like, really? This is our date? Like,
this is your premiere night?
Yeah.
I wish that was the headline. Like, you're in this gorgeous outfit and then you get home. Little does everyone know, you're like, I'm on the couch with my ice cream.
Like, I was shoving a Haagen-Dazs and I was like, I should walk this down to the freezer because it's going to melt. And I was like, fuck that. Nope. I'm rich. It's fine. It's a half a pound of fucking Haagen-Dazs. Like, what am I worried about?
It's so good. Do your daughters understand like who you are and what you do fully?
I couldn't tell you. You know, I feel like maybe. I think that they've been around it. I've most of the movies that I've made since they've been around have been during the summer because I don't want to leave them. So they've been on every set that I've worked on from the time that they've been in my life. So they know that is mom's job. They obviously don't, they don't watch the kind of movies that I make. So in their eyes, I'm like some dinosaur, right? And so like every once in a while when I work with somebody, they're like, wait, you know her? Like, oh, Renee Rapp's coming on Saturday? Or like what? Like every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, motherfuckers. Like,
I'm cool.
Yeah. So I was just driving here and my oldest daughter, who's a real bitch, like she does not make it easy on me one bit. Like she does not suffer fools easily. She has never given me a compliment in my fucking life. I was driving here. She was at a sleepover and I called her to tell her that, her sister was coming home and she goes, oh, I really liked what you wore last night. I almost fell off my chair. The phone fell out of I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, be cool, be cool, be cool.
You're like, thanks.
Yeah. So they play with my emotions, I think.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
It sounds like you are such an incredible mother. You're a great daughter. And you've had such an incredible career and you will continue to have such an incredible career. And like, this is why I love my job is getting to meet you. I had no idea what to expect. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know
this fucking woman that can't keep a man. Like, this
nutty
bitch. Like, let's see how this.
Bald.
Now I understand.
But I didn't know, And I think, not that it was bad or good. I was just like, oh, I'm excited to meet you.
Yeah.
And in getting to speak with you, it's so inspiring hearing what you've done with your career, what you've done with your family. I think it's such a testament to women. And it's really, I hope, a message to women of like, you really can create your own path. Yeah. Your past doesn't define you, but be aware of your childhood and any trauma you've had. Yeah. And you've done such an incredible job, like making your own version of what you want your life to be, which is so inspiring for women to hear.
Yeah. And I'm still trying.
Of course.
We're still figuring it out.
Of course.
Yeah. But we should definitely try for sure. Life is too short.
As you enter this next gorgeous decade of your life, what are you the most excited for?
Okay. So everyone's like talking about the celebration. You're the first person that's ever asked me, like, what is this next chapter in my life, right? I think outside of what I touched upon, which is that I do think about like, because it's very real. My oldest is about to be 14. like I will be an empty nester soon. I think about that a lot because I love my fucking kids so much that they can never know, because I can't imagine my life without them. And the idea of them not being in my fucking house, like, scares me enough to be like, who is this sad man that I am going to fucking catch in 6 years and be like, you can have my whole closet. Just don't let me be alone in this house.
So real.
Aside from thinking about that, I don't know, because work feels really satisfying. I really feel so blessed and so lucky that I get to do something every single day that I love. It doesn't feel like work. And I'm glad that I get to show my kids what that looks like. To find something that you love, that if you can have a life where you don't feel like you're working, but you are working hard, that's a very rewarding life. And not all of us get to have that. So if I can continue that, and make sure that my kids are okay, like, that's going to be okay for me. I'm going to be okay.
This is good to know. So whenever we see you pop up with a man, we're like, oh, the kids moved out. It's literally our
barometer. Oh, she must be 18.
Oh, shit. Shit. She's miserable because the kids are gone. This is just the fucker that happened to be at the coffee shop earlier that day that she's like, you're moving in with me, motherfucker. And he's like, shit, I get to be with Charlize Theron.
My secret's out. I just fucked myself. Yeah. Well, there goes my vagina's joy. Like, that's not happening anymore. Thank you, dude, Alex. Really great.
No,
I will tell this man I love him before I know his name. I will hook him so fast.
And you'll hook him up. Good closet, nice life. We're doing it right. We're doing it right.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for coming on. This was truly a pleasure. You're such a good hang. And it felt like I forgot there were cameras. Like, it just felt like we were having really nice girl talk.
I was looking forward to this because it's nice to know you. Like, I feel, not in a weird way, I'm not going to tell you I love you.
Come on.
It's nice to know a little bit about you. And I'm a huge fan, by the way.
Well, I'm a huge fan too. So look at us. Woo!